Hey, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. I
All right.
apologize.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Big controversy today. We get a tremendous amount of rain here. We get so much rain that we measure it in feet instead of in inches. So we get almost 12 or just over 12 feet of rain every year here in Ketchikan. That's a lot of rain.
Well, that's awesome that it didn't rain today.
But you're located in a national forest, and it surrounds us here. And to be a rainforest, it takes a lot of rain. We enjoy the beauty of the Tongas, and so we enjoy the rain too. And you get used to it. It just, it's like weather any place. It is what it is, and you just deal with it. Notice here to the right how these buildings are built right on the rocks. So you're going to grab a hold of the rocks and hang on. Very north and south, Ketchikan runs, right along the channel to our left and these hills and mountains to our right. And so in Ketchikan, you're either going north usually or you're going south. And right now we're going north. And people who live on this end of the town are called North Enders. On that end of the town, South Enders. Other fish, and then it's processed here in this big plant. You don't see much on this side, but the other sides there's boats that are unloading with fish. And this morning, as you were getting on board your coach and coming down here, there's a big truck that delivers fresh seafood to the ships. So they were loading the ship with fresh seafood from Ketchikan. And then this evening, for your dinner, you'll have fresh fish. We're materials, durable goods, everything comes by barge into Ketchikan. Consequently, it raises the price somewhat, and we have a fairly high cost of living here in Ketchikan. They're going to repave this section of the road, so there's a little bit of construction work going on here. To the left is Small Boat Harbor. We have 4 of these in Ketchikan, and this is where people in the community that want to recreate leave their boats here. Also charter fishing boats, commercial fishing boats. All the fleet really stays in these small boat harbor ships, and one has a gold funnel. That's the Matanuska, and when they turn 50 years old in the fleet, then they paint their staff gold. So that one's a 50-year-old, over 50 years old. This is the shipyard where they maintain that fleet. Of course, in 1972, because before that, the jets had to land at an island called Annette Island. It's about, 25 miles from here. And then you had to get in a seaplane and fly from that airport over, land in the harbor, and then get off. They built that runway during World War II, and then it was utilized up until the early 70s when we finally built this runway, which was much closer. Glad you're our guests. I always point this out. You got to kind of prepare yourself. There's a big bump coming up right here. And I'm going to tell you right here, right by this green sign on the left. Boom! Did you feel that bump? We've just gone from the city government borough government, and that was a tax house, and they were inside the city. Two forms of taxes here: property taxes on your real property, and then also a sales tax. The city has a very high sales tax, and they bump it up in the summertime too. Kick it back down in the wintertime. In the borough, more rural areas here, it's a much smaller sales tax the same year round. So we appreciate that. Looking to the left, you can see another one of the Alaska Marine Highway vessels with the yellow stack. That was surplus several years ago, and instead of sending it across seas to be scrapped and torn apart in the scrapyard, we purchased it from a vessel with the yellow stack, and then they just walk off and right to work, whether it's driving a bus, or working in the retail or the restaurant, or maintenance, or any other aspect of the operation. All of this area to the left was a part of the pulp mill. This is a pulp mill property. These big concrete silos, similar to grain silos you see to the left, those stored the chips. So the first part of the process was to take those logs and turn them into chips, all probably about the size of a silver dollar. And then they would start to process those chips down to create the pulp that was the final product. All of that took a tremendous amount of fresh water, so they constructed this water treatment plant to the left. This is where over 49 million gallons a day of fresh water was processed to supply the plant to make that pulp. That pipeline is still in effect. The dam still works. About 2 million gallons a day now comes down through the pipeline. We've got lots and lots of fresh water. That's how we make our electricity too. All hydroelectric here, which is great. All renewable. Buildings to the right. This was the original administrative buildings for the pulp mill. So this is all the offices where the administration of the pulp company worked. Now we're driving down and into the part where the actual factory was. I think of it as a factory because kind of like an assembly line, raw products come in one end and a finished product comes out the other end. And so it was the same for that wood. They bring it in at this ahead of us at this end of the bay, and then there was full of buildings here that have since been torn down. We preserved a lot of the buildings, but many of them were torn down before. And then the pulp would work its way down to the right, and then the finished product would be stored in the area where you came ashore. That was where they stored all the finished pulp that was produced in this mill. To get that finished product to market, they put the finished pulp inside railroad boxcars. And you'll see those boxcars ahead and to the left. You can see some railroad tracks right down here. Oops.
Maybe that's why they gave the bus to you.
Thank you. Take care, folks.
Hey, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. I
All right.
apologize.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Okay.
You got us close enough.
Okay, good. Take
All
care,
right,
folks.
you too.
Watch
Thank
your
you.
step here. Watch the railroad track.
Okay. Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh,